According to the National Data Agency, the youth employment rate was 45.1% last month, down zero point 0.7 percentage points from the same month last year. This marks 17 consecutive months of decline, the longest downturn in about 16 years since the global financial crisis in 2009.
국가 데이터처에 따르면 지난달 청년층 고용률은 45.1%로 작년 같은 달보다 0.7%포인트 낮아 17개월 연속 하락세를 보였습니다. 이는 글로벌 금융위기였던 2009년 이후 약 16년 만의 최장 기록입니다. Okay, so what's causing the slowdown in youth employment?
Well, a lot of young people can get jobs usually in manufacturing and construction sectors because those are industries that are generally considered to offer good wages and stable employment for people without a lot of experience. But of course, those sectors have been a bit sluggish lately. They've been slowing down quite a bit. So that, of course, takes away a lot of job opportunities.
우리가 워낙 제조업, 건설업이 너무 그 경제의 큰 포션이기 때문에
Right.
제조업, 건설업 자체가 이제 부진을 겪고 있다 보니 취업문이 이제 좁혀진 겁니다.
네.
구체적으로는 지난달 미국 관세 여파로 제조업 취업자 수가 대폭 줄어들었어요. 이제
네.
6만 명 정도 줄어서 15개월 연속 감소했고 부동산 경기 침체 등의 건설업 또 17개월째 뒷걸음치고 있습니다.
Right, losing thousands and thousands of jobs in both of those sectors, manufacturing and construction.
That's right. And many companies, they prefer, I'm sure you've experienced this as a fresh graduate out of university, they prefer experienced workers.
It's the most frustrating thing when you're first trying to get a job because you need to get experience to be able to get a better job, but every single job says we want somebody experienced.
Right.
So how can you get your experience if you need experience to get the experience, right?
That's right. And then they have attached to it a junior salary, even though they are looking for experienced,
Exactly.
seasoned people.
Exactly. So that's a tricky thing for people. And that has been for a long time, of course, a difficult thing for people first getting their first job. It's always difficult. But even more and more so these days, companies just prefer experienced workers, so that makes it really tough for young people. In the first quarter of this year, the number of newly created wage jobs, new jobs for first-timers, stood at about 5.5 million, and that's the lowest level since statistics started for this thing in 2018.
That is not good news. 전체 일자리에서 신규 채용이 차지하는 비중 또한 27%까지 떨어졌는데 이거는 2018년 관련 통계 작성 이후 가장 낮은 최저치를 기록한 겁니다.
Right. So the share of new hires among all those jobs also dropped to only about 26.5%. So that's the lowest figure that's ever been recorded. So it's tough out there.
That's why you see all these uni students or college students, they are trying to juggle their GPAs, so grade point averages,
Right.
with about half a dozen internships.
Of course.
Because that's how they get that experience
Yeah.
as a newly graduate.
Right. You got to work for free.
Yeah.
So that's why it's actually a really good idea to start as soon as you can working for free in the industry that you think you might like to work in because you gain those contacts, which are so
Yeah.
essential in getting a job, right?
And another good reason for doing that is so that you can really figure out if you like that industry.
Right, right.
Because as a newly graduate, sometimes you get shocked. Oh, this is
Yeah,
not what I
yeah.
had signed up for.
Exactly. You see behind the scenes, it's not actually what you expected it to be, right?
Yeah, so I think, Rich, you and I are on the same page about internships. Try to get that experience before you graduate so you can
Right.
get a taste of what's in store.
Right. And of course, the most important thing whenever you're getting a job is the people that you know.
Yes.
It's that network, right? So you can really meet people who are already working in that industry, and that can pave your way into the career that you want. Or you can start your own business. That's another way, right?
창업.
Right? Maybe if there's no job opportunities, that'll force people to make their own business happen and maybe provide a new wave of entrepreneurship.
일자리 창출 효과도 있죠. You can create jobs for other people as well.
Absolutely, right.
All right, so let's check out some expressions.
Okie dokie.
We are, of course, talking about employment rate,
Yep.
고용률.
Right, of course, that is just the amount of a country's working age population that has a job right now, that's currently employed. So you take the number of people who have a job, and then you divide the number of people who have a job by the total amount of people who are working age, and then to get the percent, you multiply by 100.
That's right. 그리고 저희가 이번 아티클에서 얘기했던 청년층은 it has been defined as people between the ages of 15 and 29 for
Right.
the purposes of this survey.
Right, so quite low at the beginning. A lot of those people are just going to be students.
That's right, full-time students. 자, 고용률이 employment rate였다면 실업률은 그 employment 앞에 on을 붙여서 unemployment rate가 되겠습니다. And another
exactly.
one, consecutive, 연속적인 연이은입니다.
Sure. A very common word in the news, a very useful word when you're using a series of something in a row or one after another.
That's right. Here's the article once more. According to the National Data Agency, the youth employment rate was 45.1% last month, down 0.7 percentage points from the same month last year. This marks 17 consecutive months of decline, the longest downturn in about 16 years since the global financial crisis in 2009.
All right, here's our next story. The Japanese government plans to introduce an online pre-entry screening system called JESTA for visa-free visitors starting in 2028. The fee is expected to set you back about the same amount as the US ESTA charge of around $40.
일본 정부가 오는 2028년부터 무비자 입국 외국인을 대상으로 온라인 사전 신고 입국 심사 제도 JESTA를 도입해 수수료를 부과합니다. 수수료는 미국 에스타가 부과하는 $40 수준을 참고해 정할 계획입니다.
Right.
Okay, so before the show, we were trying to agree upon how we are going to say this because it's not a thing yet.
Right.
It's not a word with a defined way of pronouncing it. So, JESTA로 할 거냐, JESTA로 할 거냐 이런 얘기를
Right.
했었죠.
Right. So do it however you like. We're saying JESTA, but it could be JESTA. We'll see how it actually comes out in 2028 when it actually is rolled out. Of course, ESTA means Electronic System for Travel Authorization. Then you stick that J for Japan on the front of there, right?
That's right.
Like we put a K in front of everything in Korea. So it's a system where travelers from visa-exempt countries have to submit their personal information.
네, 제스타는 일본판 에스타로 비자 면제국의 여행객이 이제 입국 전에 온라인으로 성명, 체류 목적 등등을 신고하면
네.
그 해당 국가에서 이를 심사해서 뭐 불법 체류 우려가 있다 아니면 they don't have to specify 이유를 명확하게 주진 않아도 돼요.
Right.
그런데 어떤 모종의 이유 때문에 허가해주지 않고 이제 비자를 받도록 하는 방식이죠. 여태까지는 우리가 일본 갔을 때 무료였잖아요. 그런데 이제는 JESTA 이거를 하게 되면서 there's going to be a fee, a number attached to it.
Right. And of course, when there's a fee attached, the main reason for that is simply to make more money for the
Yeah.
government, right? It's simply another tax that the government is trying to create a new revenue stream. They have a lot of demands in Japan. There's been new policies that they put into effect as well.
Okay, so one expression that we're going to look at is the screening system, 선별 시스템, 심사 시스템입니다.
Right. Of course, when you are screened, you're using a set of procedures to kind of evaluate or identify individuals or items based on a specific set of criteria.
스크린 원래는 화면이지만 동사로는 걸러내다, 심사하다, 체크하다 이런 뜻이잖아요.
네.
그래서 스크리닝 시스템, 선별 시스템이 됐습니다.
네.
Here's the article once more. The Japanese government plans to introduce an online pre-entry screening system called JESTA for visa-free visitors starting in 2028. The visa and the fee attached to it is expected to set you back about the same amount as the US ESTA charge of around $40.
You went for JESTA that time, eh? Good choice.
That's right, to give some variety.
Yeah, just use both. We'll just make sure we're right at least once.
That's right. All right, we'll be back after our song.
It's Etham and Chungha Find Love.